Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's special of the big detecting TV and radio show. Now, normally you would have the lovely dulcet tones as he is ill. He's not very well, so I'm stepping in for him tonight, and we've got some guests lined up coming up later on this evening as well. Also, if you're watching via Facebook or if you're watching via YouTube, we'll be throwing it open so you can ask some questions towards our guests a little bit later on. We've got coming up, and if you'd like to add him now, we've got the man himself, the Shilling King, Dino, is going to be joining us this evening. Where are you, my friend?
I am in my kitchen.
Hello, Dino. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, sir. How are you? How's your good self? Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, there you go. Is that better? I'm not sure. Hey, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Enjoyed we just went out and did the clapping for the NHS care workers, etc., all the key workers and that. Absolutely fantastic. Round of a massive applause. Brilliant. And I see you did it too.
I did indeed. That is why we weren't here bang on 8 o'clock. We were out the front clapping, doing our bit, and doing our bit by staying at home.
Yes,
which is what everyone's doing. Which is what everyone should be doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how have you been? How's your day been so far?
It's been like a lot of people's days, I would imagine. Did some shopping for a few people. Walked the dog. For the exercise, but it's. I'm sure everybody is feeling the pain, but as you say, we're staying at home to save lives.
Good stuff. Now, talking about staying at home, obviously we can't get out. We can't get out detecting, and there's a hell of a lot of us that do want to get out detecting. And the next person that's coming up is one of those people, but it's somebody that's coming up from a young age. There's a lot of detectorists out there that you see that are quite wizened, quite old, but not this next one. So, Luke, if you want to bring in our next guest, this is Sky Jackson. Sky, are you there, Sky?
Yep.
Hey!
Hi, Sky.
Hi.
How you doing? You good?
Yeah.
Good. Right. I can't quite hear, Sky. Have you muted your audio? Yes? No? Possibly?
No.
Can you hear me, Sky?
Yeah.
Hello. Good. Excellent. I think she can hear me. Look at me in the middle.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Have you muted your microphone, Sky? There may be an option there where it says audio, and you may want to press that so that we can hear you. That's it. How's that? You there?
Yeah.
Right. No. Can you hear Adina?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah. So yes. What is it? Do you have some questions? Is it questions, Arron?
We have indeed. So Sky is one of these new detectorists. This is what it's all about. Getting younger people involved in detecting. It's a brilliant thing. It's a good thing. And we got a few questions for Sky. If you're up for it, Sky, you're up for a few questions.
Are you up for a few questions, Sky?
Yeah.
This is good.
All right. So, well, first of all, whereabouts are you from, Sky? Whereabouts in the country are you?
Well, but I do metal detecting at Ponty with my dad.
Is that Pont? Where did you do metal detecting, Sky? Did you say Pontefract?
Yeah.
I know Pontefract well, ish, sort of.
Lovely.
Drove through there once.
What was it that started you detecting, Sky? I mean, because obviously there's a few young guns that are doing detecting, but what was it that made you want to do it? What made you want to start detecting?
Well, I just started with my dad one day, and I just liked it, and I just carried on doing it.
Did you hear that, Arron?
By the way, I can't hear what. No, I can't hear a word that Sky's saying.
I'll put right. I can relay. I can do relay. Sky
Yeah,
started off with her dad, and she really liked it, so she kept going. Well done.
Okay, all right. What do your friends make of it? What do your friends think about you doing this hobby?
They just think that all my finds are good.
They just think all her finds are good.
Excellent. Lovely stuff. Now, what sort of detector do you use when you're out in the field and you're out and you're swinging about? What machine are you using?
A Garrett Ace 250.
Garrett Ace 250.
Oh, well, Ace 250. I started on the Ace 250. That's where you started, wasn't it, Dino?
Indeed.
We'll get onto that a little bit later. Whereabouts, when you're out with your Ace 250, Sky, whereabouts do you like to detect? Are you on the beaches? Are you in the farm fields? Are you in the parks? Whereabouts are you?
The farm fields.
The farm fields. In the farm. On the farms.
Right. Okay, so are they club digs, or has your dad got permission there?
My dad's got permission.
Her dad's got permission.
Nice, very nice, lovely stuff. And what sort of things have you found so far?
Musket balls and some coins and pipes that I found on top.
Musket balls, coins, and are they clay pipes, Sky? The clay pipe stems. Yes. Yes, they are.
Yeah, lovely stuff. Get a lot of them on the Thames, don't you? But now, what has been, of all those things that you've found so far, what has been your favourite?
Probably the musket balls and the coins.
Musket balls and the coins? Musket balls and the coins. You get that?
Okay.
I love
all right.
balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, musket balls are good. I mean, they've got a nice bit of age to them. They're lovely things to find out. But what would you most like to find while you're out in the field? I mean, because bear in mind, you could find anything on a farmer's field. What would you most like to find?
Some gold or a sword.
Some gold, wouldn't we all? and a sword.
A sword. Very nice.
That'd be cool.
Very, well, like a Roman sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice big Roman sword. Yeah, lovely. Okay, and how are you finding this whole lockdown thing with this the COVID-19? Are you managing to keep yourself busy? Have you dug up the garden yet?
Yeah. No.
Have you?
No.
Yes, no, which probably means maybes, but she's not telling anybody.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And now,
no.
Do you? I just want to throw this one out there. Are there any particular channels that you watch when you're on YouTube? Do you watch detecting channels on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, I forgot to relay that one. Yes, she does.
I can't hear. I can't hear what Sky's saying.
Sorry.
Was that a yes? Did we get any? Did she name any particular channels that are a favourite?
Not yet.
Okay.
So maybe saving people's questions.
Favorite? Yeah, which ones are your favourite, Sky?
Earthquake.
Did she say what her favourite was?
No, I think she's just thinking. Or maybe there's too many to choose from.
Very, very possibly. Very possibly. Well, I want to thank Sky for joining us this evening. This has been fun. And you're going to keep on detecting, hopefully. And hopefully you're going to come back and show us the stuff that you're going to find and the stuff you found and keep us updated as to your progress, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Brilliant. Well, thank you for dropping by, Sky. Have a good evening, and we'll see you again soon.
Oh, she's just remembered. She just remembered it was. She said she watches Shilling King, Metal Detector UK, all the time.
Oh, really? That wouldn't happen to be your channel, would it, Dino?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Cool. All right. Good. Sky, thank you for dropping by. Cheers. Thank you.
Bye, Sky.
Well, that's cool, isn't it? You've well, we'll get onto you in just a second. Dino, for the people at home that are watching this, possibly on Facebook or they're watching it on YouTube, that might not know who you are, right? Let's pretend we don't know who you are. Tell us a bit about Dino.
Well, I'm on your screen here. I'm what can I say? I'm from the north. I live in the south. It's beautiful down here in the southwest. I've probably been Metal Detector. Hi, everyone, by the way. I can see the messages popping up at the bottom, and I didn't get a chance to say hi, especially to Mr. Petkin, the Rock Licker. Scotty B said he had a nap. A grandpa nap at your age, mate. Yeah, I've just sneaked past 50, so I'm in the correct age bracket anyway. And I won't go. You're going to ask about machines in a bit, aren't you? So I won't go there. But I'm just your general regular guy who likes getting out there and finding stuff, loves puzzles, loves repairing stuff and things. Cool, blimey. I don't know, really. I'm me.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's start at the beginning. What was it that started you? What gave you the inspiration to start metal detecting?
Now that's an easy one. I spent a little time in sandier climes where there was nothing to do but during downtime, then watch videos, or play games and stuff. So I found this thing called YouTube, and I thought I'll watch some videos. And I saw a video where which was titled I find or I throw a live grenade, and I thought, yeah, okay, I'll watch this. So I watched it, and it was funny. The guy was funny. He seemed to be enjoying himself a lot, and he was metal detecting. He found, metal detecting. I mean, I've heard of it before. As a young lad, I'd had one. It was. I remember it being brown. And hello, Dawn. And I remember it being particularly simple. And I remember finding a George V 1 penny, an old penny, a pre-decimal penny with it. And then I lent it up against the gate. I went into my house, came back out, and it had gone. Oh dear! So that was that. So I thought, I might do that when I get home. The YouTuber was Deep Digger Dan, and I think a lot of people started off by watching his videos and getting into it. I'm not sure. He has mixed reviews. He's now doing something different, but fair play to him. Everybody does what they want to do, don't they? Yeah. Dear. Yes, Stephen just realised what I was talking about. Yeah. So when I got back from Sandia climbs, I went straight to. Well, I didn't go straight to Regton's. I had a look online, found Regton's. They seem to have a other detecting material specialists are available, and ordered it, got it, and it was the Garrett Ace 250 locator pack, I think it was, and whoosh, straight into next door. Well, there was an empty house next door, straight into that garden, and I've still got a little box with all the little things I found in it when I first got going. So that was me away, if you like.
Fantastic. Right. So that's kind of like quite a lot there. When you're out detecting, now, have you got your own land? Do you go on club digs, beach, parks, fields? Where is it you're out detecting?
Am I there yet? Oh, here I am. Hello. I've got. I only have 2 small permissions. It's enough for me. Get me to stick to names. There's Andrew saying the same thing. Yep. I've got 2 small permissions. They're around. They're close to, shall we say, an aerodrome, and so they're sort of they run up against the fence. They're not massive, but they'll do me. And when I moved down here about 6 years ago, I obviously new to the area, so I didn't really have anything, didn't really know anybody. But I'm a bit of a history buff, so I did a bit of research in the area. And very luckily, a colleague of mine who sat across from me at work passed me a story. And I won't mention what that is. That could probably be a later segue into what else you want to talk about. But through that story, researching it and doing what I did with a certain incident back in Victorian times, I got that permission, and then following on, sort of a couple of fields next to it, got those. So not massive. I don't know whether it's more than a couple of 100 acres, but I've had some good stuff.
Yeah, you've had some nice finds. I watch your videos. I've seen you've had some lovely stuff out there. How did you go about getting these permissions then? I mean, what sort of lines did you use? Did you go around there with cupcakes or what?
Now I like the face-to-face. Somebody knows somebody who then says, "Oh, I'll speak to that person for you to see if I can get such and such." So effectively, it was the lady that is. You mean, Dawn? Do you mean all that Jaffa cake has gone? Terrible. She said she would send us some, Aaron. She said she would send us some. Anyway, so it was the lady that's what do they call the person that looks after a church? That person anyway. I was just chatting to her, and she mentioned that she knew the people who owned the field. The first permission I had. Apologies, second permission. So it was through her speaking to them, me speaking to them, that I got that. It's quite a small permission, but it'll do. But the first one, and this probably will segue into the boiler explosion, was through the actual story of the boiler explosion. Now, as I said, a friend of mine passed me. It was a story about something that happened back in 1895, so 120 years ago, 25 years ago, isn't it? Yeah. And it was about I don't know whether you know of them, but back in the day, before all these big fandangle machines, etc., they used portable boilers, big old train, effectively. Like the steamrollers, the big old time steamrollers.
Yeah.
And it big wheel on the side, and it powers one of those big threshers. You know the threshers?
Yep.
Oh, is that me? Oh, right. So what had happened during that? It was February 1895, bitterly cold, -4, -5 apparently, and they'd had their. The story goes that they had their boiler breakdown, so they had to borrow another one. So obviously, I did a lot of research into that, and. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to mention it, but anyway, I sort of covered it, and so I got. I got that permission by sort of doing research. So the second permission was done talking to people, etc. The first permission was got sort of, went had some research, went to the landowner and said, "Look, I've done this research. Could I follow it up by looking around your fields?" And they said, "Yes, you can." So that's my preferred way. I know a lot of people knock on doors, send letters, emails, cold call. I don't particularly like that. But I am in the process of securing a third permission, and I'm looking at it right now. It's over there. Anyway, but that's for anything.
Is it your back garden by any chance?
I haven't got a back garden. I have gravel and flags. So it's I've got it's like an L-shaped border, if you like. So, but me and Jess might still go and have a play out there. No, it's I look out onto I won't say what hills, but I look out onto a strip of hills. It was beautiful. Obviously, you can't see now because it's dark. But that is where I don't know whether anybody saw. I lost Droney. There's Droney.
Oh no!
Yes. Now it was on a dog walk. Me and Jess, my young daughter, and Jack, the dog, little dog walk, and we just we thought we'd take the drone with us, flew it up, and the wind took it and shot it straight across into just over the river into a field. So I had to get permission, etc., etc. And that's all those phone calls. Sort of got me in touch with the right people, shall we say? Well,
fantastic!
Yeah,
so you've written a book.
Yes. Well, it's
about the boiler explosion. You've done your research.
Oh yeah.
You've written a book.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about it. How long did it take you? Where can we find it?
It took finding it. I'm sure Dave could share a link. It's on the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine. I don't know where he put the link, actually. I must apologise for that. I made myself look a bit silly there. It's easy to find, and it's not a massive document. It's only what I would call a pamphlet. But what I did was, obviously, as you said, when Trev passed over the story, I read through it, found it fascinating. But it was sort of, it was a bit bare bones. So what had happened, the boiler, theirs had broken. And what they used to have was operators, thresh machine operators, and a driver. They called him. It was effectively the operator, the guy that pushed the buttons, pulled the knobs, twiddled things and stuff. So he managed to get another one from another farm. So they borrowed that. And from what I looked into, it had been serviced, repaired, etc., by a company who's no longer there in Martock. And to be fair, they hadn't done a very good job. Looking at it. So what they'd done is they'd been working all day, and they used this boiler continuously for 4 days apparently. And effectively, it's a big train with a big wheel on the side of it, and it turns a threshing machine. So they've been threshing, building. If you know what a hay rick is, it's a big. No, I would describe it as a big blob of hay on stone sticks. So there you go. Keeps it off the floor, stops the rats getting in there. So. They've been working it continuously for 4 days. Unfortunately, it failed. They don't know exactly where it failed, but it split across the bottom, exploded, fired into the air. I think they, from what I could find out, it went about 20. It was 40 foot into the air, flipped over, and landed 25 yards away. Sadly, killing three of the farm workers and the driver. Now, the irony of this story is that the driver, Mr. Joseph Hahn, was my work colleague's great-great-great-grandfather. I think I've got the number of greats right. That's why he passed it, because he knew, I knew I was into history and sort of. So that's why I sort of looked into it. And the best outcome for me is that I found where Joseph was interred, or had been buried, if you prefer that term. So Trevor's, my good friend Trevor's family, Trevor especially, got to sort of pay their respects, if you like. They didn't know where he'd been buried. So exactly. Is that Hammy Sammy? Yeah, it's a terrible story. They call it the boiler explosion of Yeovil. You said it. Well, I mean, you're going to read it anyway. The boiler explosion of Yeovilton of 1895. Now, sort of to go on from that, obviously this boiler exploded, and they were threshing hay. And what is hay? When it's dry, it's very flammable. Hot coals, and boom. So the farm was on fire for almost 24 hours, apparently. Unfortunately, the Yeovil fire tender was unavailable due to being repaired. They were having a horse shoot. I mean, yeah, absolutely. So
couldn't have told it worse.
No, really. So they had to bring an engine from Martock and an engine from Sherborne, if I've pronounced Sherborne right. And now these, bearing in mind, this is back in 1895. So these were steam-driven. So I've managed to research steam-driven fire engines. So pump steam thing, squirt. Now, just as an indicator of how, because obviously all the poor people that were killed, they were having their sort of tea, I suppose, or whatever you would call it, round the boiler. They were taking a rest because it was so cold. And an indicator of how cold it was when the fire tenders turned up, especially the Martok one, they had to drill through the ice 4 inches to get water out of the river. That's how cold it was. And some people who had come across from, I can't remember the small village, Specklington, I think, they'd come across to see what was going on. They managed to walk across what they called, there's an account that says they walked across the ice even at the widest part of the river. So it was massively cold. So, there you go. Sad, but fascinating.
So, and you've been on the land where this happened, looking for bits of boiler.
Yep, I have indeed. The problem is that where I think it happened, there was also I've only found out a couple of weeks ago, there was a Nissan hut complex, not a Nissan hut, as I pronounced it in the video, a Nissan hut. So there was 5 Nissan huts. Those had big old cast iron stoves. So I found parts which I couldn't really say, oh, that's a boilerplate, that's the bottom of this, but I have found something which I cannot find. I was looking for it in the garage earlier on. It's like a tortoise shell. Aye, he's gone. Hello. There you are. You. How dare you go dark on me? Cool. It's like a tortoise shell. It's if you imagine the big pot belly stoves, it was like the crest, about the size of a VW hubcap, but it had a tortoise shell back on it. And I thought, when it was upside down, as soon as I found it in that field, I thought, ooh, this must be part of the. Oh no, it's not. I turned it over, and it was part of a potbelly stove that you find in these Nissan huts. So yeah, but I have searched high and low, mainly low because that's but I did also search high, and this is an odd part of the story. Another odd part of the story. They in the accounts in what's an old magazine called The Engineer, which you can still access online. It's accounts of all sorts of news from back in the day. That what had happened, what Mr. Hahn had done, rather naughtily. I don't know if you know, like a kettle when it boils, steam comes out. It doesn't make that noise, of course, but there you go. Well, what he'd done is the pressure relief valve, to prevent it exploding, it had been screwed down, and he'd hung what's called the brake shoe on it. So the thing that you stick under the wheel to stop it rolling about. He'd hung the brake shoe on it. So when it exploded, the accounts there's accounts that say that this brake shoe fired into the air and hung in a I think it's an old elm tree for weeks, apparently. I don't know. I did look high, didn't find it though, which is sad. Yeah.
Cool. Right. Before we go any further, you can still hear me, right? You're all right? You still hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Right. Before we go any further, we've got some clips that we're going to play out this evening. So, Lukey, if you want to play those clips, let's play some of those clips out, and then we'll chat more after this.
Hi guys, Arron here. Now if you've got nothing else to do, and I mean nothing else to do, absolutely nothing else to do, why not pop over to YouTube and check out South Coast Detecting?
I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.
Right. Well, welcome back. Dino, are you still there with us, sitting in the chat?
I think I am. Yes, I am.
Oh, he's had a change of hat?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Kindly provided by Ken Sampson. Thanks, Ken. It glows in the dark, but I'm not turning the lights off. You wouldn't like it.
Lovely stuff. Right. Okay. So you were mentioning earlier on about machines, and you started off with the Ace 250, yeah?
I did indeed.
What are you swinging at the moment?
Well, I actually, as you'd have noticed, people would have seen, I added the 13.5-inch Nell Tornado coil. Big old fat coil, give me more depth, more scope. The thing with a bigger coil is you cover more ground, but you get less sensitivity. And then I moved on to, because I'd seen many people, including Digger Dawn, who seems to do rather well. She is the Silver Queen. Oh, what's that? Who's making that noise? Hello. Oh, I think the Martians are trying to contact us. There's nothing down here for you. Don't go home. So then I got the Gannett AT Max International. Hooray! So I used that for a while and then added the Tornado coil, and it's bloody marvellous, I must say. Absolutely fantastic.
Lovely stuff. Now, is there any machine, apart from obviously what you're using at the moment, is there any machine that you would like to move on to? Because when I was with the Ace 250, I was watching other people using their machines, and I got detector envy, as a lot of people do, and I thought, that's a nice machine. I wouldn't mind using that, Is there anything out there that you've seen and you think, I'd like to give that a try? I want to give that a go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, God. What happened to that one? Yay. The hat's got all funny. Oh, well, never mind. Everybody must like a bit of Deus, because it's. I had to go with a friend of mine, Andrew Jones. Thanks, Andrew. And it's light. It's quite intuitive to use. And just a minute, this hat's doing my own. That's better. Gator Bob. But obviously when Deus brought out the ORX, I thought, budget machine does the same. I maybe fancy not moving on. Moving on. Hey, I've said it. Not moving on to the Deus or the Orcs, but using it in conjunction with, they've got different unique skills. Is that right? What a way to describe a metal detector? Yeah, they're good for different things.
Okay, all right. Now let's talk about your finds. What's been your favourite find so far from everything that you've had?
Oh, that's a good one. I've had some, as everybody have. We had some weird finds. I mean, I found. I didn't have time to prepare. I must apologise. So I was going to grab some of the bits and bobs. But the odd shaped fish shaped candlewick ring. You know, the little bit that you hold when you're carrying a candlewick. That was bonkers. It's a curled carp in the ring, and I can hear Aaron's underpants crackling, says Rob Random.
Thanks. So what was it again?
It was a candlewick holding ring. It's a bit of a weird one. Brass, though. I thought at first it was just a metal one, but it's brass. So very nice. I might grab it actually if I can remember where it is. But obviously the hammers for me are the ones really. When you think the Charles I Shilling, was it Charles I Shilling? Absolutely astounded because it was the last target of the day. It was sort of getting darkish, and it just looked like an aluminium disc. And I thought, oh, here we go, another bit of rubbish. And then obviously 1 or 2 expletives and a bit of a dance later. Brilliant, massive dustbin lid-sized hammered coin. Fantastic.
What was most like to find?
Ooh, I don't know. I would love to find a gold stater. One of the
speak to Grim about that. He's found a few.
Yeah, how many? He had 3, I think. Didn't he? 3 in a row? Is it 3? I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think might have had 4 in total. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I maybe missed one of them. But the local tribe, pre-Roman here, were the Jura-Triges. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Who were Romanized in 50 BC, and then 50 AD. They just didn't exist anymore. One of theirs will be brilliant. Sorry. I apologise for reading the ticker across the bottom, actually. But yeah, definitely a stater. And also, and I know I've seen people find them in the past, is a ringer. Is a really nice crotal bell that rings. They're amazing.
Yeah. Now, obviously, while you're out and you're detecting it, you're finding all this stuff. Where are you putting it all? Tell us about your channel.
Well, I've got lots of boxes for my finds. I've got loads of boxes. Everybody's got a garage full of boxes, and in my garage I've got one of those big plastic. I think they call them horse feed tubs, 2 handles on each side. That's where I chuck all the iron scrap, and it's only worth pennies a ton now, isn't it? But I still chuck it in there. Then I've got a lead box, I've got a brass box, or brass and that type of thing, and then I've got a drawer full of loads of little sort of plastic boxes with bits and bobs in, buttons, military stuff, And everybody sort of does different things. A lot of people, I'm saving them all so that I can, make up a few displays. The display the display Sky showed us before we went on. Which I thought she was showing us, the little boxes with. I know the Dinnington Detectorist, old Robbie, does some brilliant ones. They're amazing, the ones he does. He's quite crafty, really. But it's something like that in the future. But I just haven't got time in a minute, so I just pop them in there. But that's what I do with my phone.
Old Robbie Cole.
Oh, he's funny.
Yeah,
so
I like
funny.
Robbie Cole.
Hello, kid. Is it kid? Yeah, he's so funny. He's brilliant. Yeah,
It's in the law.
It's in law, and then he goes. I love his laugh.
All right. Tell us about your channel then. Tell us about your channel, the evolution of it, how it started, what made you want to start it.
Well, it was back ages ago. I had a board when I worked at sort of different shifts. I had quite a bit of time off. I had lots of time on, lots of time off. So I thought, what can I do? I know. I'll just film me nothing else. Just metal detecting, film me finds, so that I thought maybe it's when I'm gone, who knows, that my daughters can watch it, or it can just be on there for posterity. And if I do find anything of any particular value or anything amazing, then it's recorded, because you know yourself, you no idea what's going to come out of the ground. Not always a 2p, is it? Not always a 2p. So, yeah, sometimes more.
For me, it is.
But yeah, that's exactly
mostly.
Yeah. So if you just, a lot of people just do enjoy the hobby, don't worry about filming, etc. We don't have to, do you really? But I think that if I mean, there are quite a few. There's a few hoards being found. There's a few some great finds, and they've been recorded. And it's brilliant. Not only to have that picture on the Portable Antiquities Scheme site, but also somebody watch a video of it coming up. Plus, of course, you can show people how it was in situ, maybe, or something like that. But yeah, I like to. I thought, yeah, I'll film, do a bit of filming, so I did, and then as my editing got worse, so did my films. But that's how it is, Wait, I love watching people. I mean, I watch yours. I love to watch people who enjoy themselves, have a laugh. Don't get down when they find a cupronickel sixpence or another compulsory iron ring and a bit of Boris, because it's not just about that, is it? It's about getting out into the fresh air in green space, mentally resetting, and if you're with friends or on your own, it's entirely your sort of space, isn't it?
Well, that's it. A find is a find. It might not be a good find. It might be a load of tap, but it's a find. Your detector found it. You dug it. You located it. It's a find.
Yeah.
They can't always be gold status or 2Ps.
No, exactly. But as you say, you found it. That's your find. There's nothing better than well, there's nothing. I said there's nothing better than finding something great. There's nothing worse than not finding it. Hands up, who's dug a hole and then the target's gone, and it's a bit tinfoil on the back of your head.
And then realise I pinpointed it wrong, and it's in the side wall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's about 2 foot away, and it's lead. I do find that lead generally with yes, I have. Ponzi, yes. Yes, I have. Well, hold on. What was I saying? I forgot now. Oh, he's knocked me off track. How could he? I mean, how many times have you looked at your spade and gone, "Oh, there it is," or lead seems to false. With the tornado I found it's definitely on Ridge and Furrow. Yes, I have broken the detector. It was, I didn't film it as well. I wish I had the chest come on, because it was literally, I was maybe, I would say, 50 yards from the gate, at the bottom of the field, and I thought, well, that fence looks easily gone. Am I still here? Hooray! Yes, that gate looks climb overable. So that fence looks climb overable.
A few more questions for
yeah. Oh,
I'm here. You're talking about breaking your detector.
Oh, well. I thought, I'm not going to walk down there and walk through that perfectly serviceable open gate. I'm going to climb over this fence. So I'll climb over this fence. And as I climb over the fence, I stepped in a massive pile of cow, let's call it bovine waste, shall we? And slipped. So you can imagine, I'm sort of straddled the fence. My right foot slips. My left foot goes up in the air. And I just went straight over onto my detector, onto my Galaxy 18 Max International with no tornado coil. Luckily, it slid up the bank, and all I did was break the armrest, the bottom of the armrest. And do you know what? Mr. Nigel Regton sent me a new one. Top lad. I think he was laughing as he posted it, but that was, so that is Pomsey. Yes, I have broken the detector. Oh yes.
So you slipped over in cow poop.
Yes, and do you know what? Yes, well, I didn't break it. I sort of snapped the armrest, but there was that much. That cow must have had a particularly large meal, because when my foot slipped in it, it went all up my shin, up my knee, over my knee, and up half my thigh. That's how much there was. It was. I'm pretty sure I got it on film. My mess, anyway. But yes,
that's a big poo.
It was enormous. But of course, That was around about when I found I started researching the Great Mouse Wars.
Yes, a question has come in. Where does the Great Mouse War come from, Dino?
It was, when you have those, you have like 2 or 3 hunts in a row where you're finding interesting bits, little bits of this, little bits of that, but you think, in this area of the field, there's nothing much. And I looked at one little bit, and it looked like a hat for a mouse. And I thought, well, as opposed to saying, and here's the next find is a small cup. I thought, well, if you can have a laugh, have a laugh. So I said, it's a mouse helmet from the Great Mouse Wars. And then people started asking, what did you find from the Great Mouse Wars this week? Or, did you find? And I just said, well, it's just a bit of fun, it's a bit of a laugh. But I haven't quite pinned down the dates of the Great Mouse Wars, or even if it's finished, it could be going on to this very day.
Well, I was going to say, you like your writing, right? You like a bit of writing. You can write that into a book. You can make a children's book all about the Great Mouse Wars.
The Great Mouse Wars. Oh, it was. It was, and probably still is, a terrible time. But it was. Prevalent more around the mid 1800s, I'm told. But I don't know. It was simply to liven up things. Like people do different things to liven up stuff. I just relate them to. Martin, the Divi Detectorist, I think personally has found part of the. It must be a Northern Mouse clan, part of some royal armour. I even sent him a picture of it. I was going to find it. I can't remember what it is. Yeah, definitely. The collar piece, I believe, could be worth pounds.
Martin, Divi Detectorist.
Yeah.
Hey up, mate.
Head up 3 coins.
Yeah.
Is he on?
So, have you got any of your favourite finds with you there now that you can bring up on camera?
No, I haven't. However, if you give me 2 seconds, if you scoot me out, I'll grab one thing.
All right. Dino's going to go and grab one thing.
Hey. I'll wait. I'll wait till I disappear out of pure courtesy. I'm still here.
All right. Yeah, you are.
There you go.
He's going to nip off and grab something for us. If you do have any other questions for Dino, pop them up in the chat, and if I can see them in time, or if they flash up on the screen in time, I'm sure Dino will answer them. If there's anything you want to know about Dino, his website, his YouTube channel, anything like that, throw the questions out, and we'll see if we can put them across to Dino and get them answered. Yeah. Here's a question I wanted to ask him, and I want to ask the people that are watching at the moment as well. Have you ever dug a hole, right? Bear with me. Dug a hole, you've lost the target, and the target is behind the hole, and it's now under the clod. So not only is it 6 foot down, but it's 6 inches down, with another 6 inches on top, so you can't find it. Nightmare. Yes, I've done that several times. That's very poor pinpointing, that is. Yeah. I'm still not very good at it. I can hear a lot of noise, Dino. What have you found? He's got some. Treasure Ed is in the house. We've got the world's best metal detectorist. Pomsey is in the house as well. I owe someone £1. Oh, excellent. Oh dear. Colin Simpson. Good evening to you all. Whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or you're watching this on a replay. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking part. As I say, those 2 P's out. What about them? Yeah, 2 P's. Those are 2 P's that I keep losing. Yeah, very bad pinpointing. Not at the beach, though. I seem to find them quite easily at the beach. Have you got it, Dino? What have you got for us? What have you got to show us?
I couldn't find it.
Oh, you're joking.
I've had that coiled carp fish ring in my rucksack for it's been over a year now, and I kept finding it, thinking, oh, I must put that away, and I think it's fell out of my bag, which is sad. And everything else is in the garage, so it would take a little bit longer.
You've not lost it. You've not lost it for good, have you?
Yeah, probably fell out of my bag, but never mind. Unless it's fell out in the garage, in which case, yes.
Nightmare.
Sorry, folks.
All right. So, going back onto some questions for you. What item would you most like to find?
Oh, I think
What's on your bucket list? Apart from the gold stater, everybody wants to find a gold stater.
I absolutely love Edward VII coins, and I think a lot of other people do because there's not many of them. He had a short reign, and they're absolutely fantastic. I would think an Edward VII sovereign. Oh, that would be amazing. That'd be absolutely amazing. I don't think I've ever seen anybody pull up Edward VII gold. I think no, I don't.
Not gold. No, I mean I've pulled up a few Edward VII half pennies and pennies. You know, and when they were coming up, it was like give it a little clean when I first started out. I was pulling up these Edward VIIs, beautiful dark coins, almost black.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
really,
is it a patina? Patina.
Yeah, they've got a really good mix to them, so they come out lovely black colour, and some of the detail is stunning. And you know, you look at it, and go, oh, it's an Edward VII. I didn't realise his reign was so short.
Yeah,
and you know, finding Edward
was he poorly or something?
It's quite a nice thing.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that Philip and Mary groat that I found. I mean, that was nice. That's quite a funny story. That actually, Arron, if you
Go on.
Anyway, go on. We need another two for the 4 Yorkshiremen. Anyway, I mean, obviously, Philip and Mary. I think it was then Mary. She had a 4-year reign, didn't she? So not long to really get some coins minted. So to find one of those, I mean, it was a bit battered. Picture here, obviously, I haven't got it. But that was amazing, and it was. I was kind of lucky, but I'd gone into one of my. It's like what I call the slope field. That's where I found. If you're wondering which field that was, it's where I found all that blooming cutlery. And I tell you what, it's not just me because Andrew Jones, who I invited on, I managed to get. I asked the landowner this. Yeah, you can bring somebody on. So I brought Andrew on. For a quick go, and we went on to what I call. He was laughing when he said cutlery field. Oh no! My days won't find cutlery. I think it will, and it did. Yeah, and it seems to be. It's as if you can imagine a cutlery cart trudging up the field, dropping cutlery comedically as you go. That it's scattered, but it's it's weird. It's in a line. Yeah, so you have to try and avoid it. But so I thought I'll avoid that. I'll start at this little tree. So I did, and I got about 10 or 15 yards. The heavens opened, so I retraced my steps. Oh, somebody's got the Mouse Wars date. Oh, yeah, I think that's when it could be. Yeah, 1636. Ah, yes, that's the that was early skirmishing, I believe it's called. So I pointed out, and I got to it's about 10, 15 yards. Heavens opened, so I retraced the steps. I thought, I'll just sit. I'm in no rush. I'll sit under this tree for 5 minutes. It was only a little shower. Whoosh, off the shower went. So I thought, right, I'm going to go and see if I can get to the spot I left. So I walked out to where I thought I was. Where I had been last, swung, if you like, and I swung the detector. And I got a lovely signal. So I swung it again, and it was a solid signal. And it was, oh my goodness, I can't remember what numbers were. Anyway, but it was nice. I thought, so, spun round both ways, changed 180 degrees. It soared. So I thought, oh, that's worth digging. So I dug it. And at first I thought, oh God, another little bit of tin foil, or a squish bottle top. And then, when you rub your thumb across it and it's not, and it doesn't say, smash dairies or anything like that. It actually says, was it, I can't remember what I saw first, the sort of around the edge. I'm trying to think because I thought, oh, really? I think it was Reg. I saw Reg and I thought, weird. And then I cleaned it more and it was Phil. I saw Phil and I thought, Phil, King Phil. I don't know who King Phil is. Obviously, then I did research and found out it wasn't King Phil and Queen Mazza. It was a Philip and Mary, from 1544 to 1548. I think. Could be wrong there. I don't know. I generally get it wrong anyway. But yeah, unique.
Wow.
I never knew that. Yeah, I've only had five Hammonds. Oh,
So you've had 5 Hammonds.
yes, only 5. So I've had two pennies. The Charles the First Shilling. West Country Jess. Say hello, Jess.
Hi.
How many is that? Two Eddies, a Charles First, Philip and Mary, and my last one was the Lizzie, the Queen Elizabeth. Didn't say that was a sixpence. I can't remember. But that was the one. That was a surface find. That was the one that I dug the hole, flipped the clod, couldn't find it. Well, it's in the clod. Flipped the clod back, and it was on top. That was on. That wasn't on my land. That was on Andrew's land, which I apologise for, Andrew. But finders keepers.
You know how many Hammonds I've had?
Go on.
0. I'm still yet to find a Hammond.
Oh.
The thing is, though, because those that know me know that I detect on the beach,
yes,
and that I detect in the parks. So I very rarely go on club digs. Obviously, I do detectable when we can. But yeah, no Hammond coins. Okay, no, I found a couple of Hammonds.
Yes,
I've had no Hammonds though.
What were they doing when you found them? Hey. No,
I was hoping this year was going to be my year.
I'm
not going to find it in the back garden.
It's nobody's year, is it, this year? Good grief.
I know. So, all right, Dino.
Yes.
Final question to you before we wrap all this up, and I get out of this sweatbox.
Yeah.
In a fantasy world, if you could detect anywhere in the UK, you go anywhere in the UK to detect, where would it be?
Ooh, that's a very good question. If I could detect anywhere in the world, where would it be? Or in the UK or in the world? I don't know, actually. I would say...
All right, let's say the UK. Let's narrow it down. UK. Anywhere in the UK. Think of all the historic sites you've got to pick from. Doesn't have to be a historic site. It could be, this is a fantasy, by the way. I don't want Dino getting he wants to go detected somewhere sacred or protected.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, no.
Just for giggles.
To be fair, there's a little village by where my fields are. I'd love to get into some of those back gardens, but it's protected. So you can't. But that would be because people have found antique items, shall we say, in their back garden, just digging up the carrots. It's because it's within what was a walled Roman city, but you can't. So that would be nice. And across the road is also there. I'm very local, aren't I? I'm keeping it simple. But I guess the area around. It would sound weird to say Stonehenge, but I mean there's some amazing places around there. Yeah, you've got me on that one because being content with the little strips that I have and finding what I do and still find stuff. I must stop reading them tickers across the bottom. It puts me off. I don't know. What about you, Arron? Let's turn the tables. Where would you most like to detect?
To be honest, I would probably like to detect in a dry moat of a castle. Ooh. Any castle that's got a decent moat that has dried out over the years.
Ooh.
I would just love to detect that moat. I mean, because there could have been all sorts that were dropped in there, forgotten about. Hundreds of years later, it's been drained. It's now dry. It's overgrown. There could be anything in there, man. There could be anything.
That's a good one, actually. Yeah.
Just anything.
Cool.
I might have to get out on some club digs, and because I'm not going to find hammered coins in the parks, so I'm going to have to get out there, aren't I? And get on some club digs. But before we go, Dino,
yes,
plug your YouTube channel. Give it a final plug. maybe put out a little plea for some subscribers as well. Yeah. Go on, my friend. Go
dear.
on.
Oh well.
Milk it.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, people who watch me know me. I'm not into that massiness. However, I'm an idiot in the middle of the field, digging holes and finding things from periods unknown. The Great Mouse Wars, for instance. That type of thing. I have a laugh, and hopefully the people who watch my channel have a laugh too. I generally tend to get good feedback. I'm fun. Lie me.
Yeah, I mean, I've been subscribed to you for years, for quite some time, and I think the stuff you put out is really good.
And me to you, and ditto. That's 100% ditto. It's great, and as you say, we don't always find gold, silver, jewels, etc. We just enjoy what we do. We find what we find, and make the best of what we find. Generally speaking, it's toilet, but it's a laugh, isn't it?
There you go. It's a bit of fun. That's what you want to do when you're out and about. You might not come back with a fist full of coins. You may come back with a bag full of knives and forks. Yeah, but you got yourself out. You've been out for a few hours, bit of fresh air, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Not being cooped up. I mean, because let's face it, when all this is over, everything that is going on in the world at the moment is over, and everybody is allowed to get out.
Yes.
I don't think anybody is going to care what they bring home. Nobody's going to give one iota whether or not they find a coin or a ring or a bit of gold. They're just going to love the fact of being able to get out and detect. Whether they're pulling up a ring pull or not, or a 2p. The moment you do that and you dig your very first hole, once this lockdown is lifted, you're going to keep that first find, be it a ring pull or whatever, because that is something you've been waiting weeks to find, and you're going to savor it.
100%, absolutely. That's the thing. It is about, as we said at the top of the show, we're staying in to save lives, save the NHS, and stop spreading this horrible thing. But when you've seen my when lockdown ends clip or meme, no fine will be safe. And it won't, because I can't wait to find my first ring pull, my first beaver tail, or whatever you like to call it, my first chopped up empty can of Thatchers. It's going to be brilliant, and I will make as much of it as I can, because that's what we're doing, isn't it? That's what we do.
Sorry, I just got distracted by TC Detects. That's Tony. Who's out in the routers. He said that when he gets out, he might roll around in the field for a bit. I think a lot of us are going to be doing that, Tony.
Oh, yeah. And if you wondered what I meant, see if you can do that. There you go. That's what I mean.
When lockdown ends.
Dun, dun, dun. It ain't going to be pretty. I don't know who's in that one, actually. I can't remember. I love doing them. They just take minutes, and they're so much fun. And it's just a bit of a laugh. I've done more of them since we've stopped going out and detecting than I have for a while. But it's nice to the important thing, I think, is to make people laugh, make people feel good, and have them involved, and say, this is what. And I know I forget to do it. A lot of people do. I know you're quite good at it. Look what we found. Robbie's good at that as well, and mine. Come on, let's see. I love Martin's dulcet tone of, let's see what we can find, and it leads you in. I'm just the idiot that falls over a fence in cow poo and finds, bottle tops. But it's a laugh.
Yeah. And I'm the 2p king.
Yeah. I need 2p. 2p or not 2p?
Well, I'll tell you what, Dino, this has been a brilliant night, because we've never had a chance to properly chat. We've never met. We've never had a decent chance to chat and converse. So I've really enjoyed this tonight. It's been brilliant. Thank you.
Woohoo!
And also get well soon to Dave Sadler, who
yes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, but you rest up, my friend.
On that situation, apparently Boris is out of ICU. There you go. Didn't know, you know now.
Good stuff.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Let's fight this bloody thing. Yes.
Yeah, excellent. So hopefully we'll see if Dave is back next week. If not, it might be me again, or it might be somebody else.
Yay!
We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, I want to say thank you to everyone that's been watching on the Facebook, on YouTube, all over the place, wherever you've been
Yes.
watching this. Remember, sit tight. It's not going to last forever. The stuff in the fields is still going to be there when you eventually do get out. So, yeah, make sure you stay in. Right. Thanks, Dino. Thanks, everybody.
No,
We'll
it's
see you again.
been my absolute pleasure. And as you say, thanks everybody who's commented. Thanks everybody who's watched, shared, whatever you've done. And just thank you to all my lovely subscribers. You are amazing. And I'm pretty sure we've all got similar subscribers. We all subscribe to each other. But thank you. And most importantly, thank you to the NHS.
Indeed. Good night, everybody. We'll see you again soon. Get well soon, Dave. Bye.
Get well soon, Dave. Good night.
Bye.